Hello, good afternoon on this lovely Friday here in Baltimore. This is WLOI, Loyola Radio, streaming online at WLOI.org and Campus TV channel 111.1. This is After the Whistle, Loyola's sports talk radio show, airing Mondays and Fridays between 1 and 2 p.m. I am your host today, Jeffrey Bozzi, and alongside my co-host, Jimmy Cody. Jimmy, how's everything going with you?
Everything is great. I cannot wait for this weekend for the Super Bowl. Obviously, that's a pretty important event nowadays. I would say it's not really a big deal, you know. I mean, it's only the Super Bowl, you know. But yeah, I'm very pumped. I mean, the game is finally here. But you know what? Like, I don't know if anybody else gets this feeling, and I hate to like be that guy. Like, I get kind of sad when I see the NFL like logo at the end and they're like, "Thank you for watching the Super Bowl." Like, you know what I mean? It kind of reminds me of like Monday night when they're like, "Thank you for watching this presentation of the NFL. The next game's Thursday, whatever." It's like makes me sad. Like I have to wait a couple days to watch, football again, and then it's a couple more days to watch the next Broncos loss. You know what I mean? It like all evens out, but I don't know. It's just part of me gets sad at the end of every football season because. I don't know. Football's gets us through school. You know what I mean? Like I've always thought that. Like it's been it's like a mental building block for me. It gives me something to look forward to every week. Even when my team stinks, I still watch the games. You know what I mean? Like, it's there for me. It's there for me.
Yeah, no, I think you bring up a good point that this is the final game for a while. I mean, we won't have football until August.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a long layover.
No, yeah, it is a long drought. It is a long one, and I don't know. I just always get sad. Like I'm not trying to be the sad guy. Like we can be sad on Monday, but like I just know I'm going to be sad. So I just really hope that it's a great game. Honestly, I just want a really good game.
Me too.
I also want like my they have the pools. Like I want my numbers to hit too.
Right.
Like, that's very important to me.
I
would argue that's actually more important to me than anything else.
No, I agree. I would say so too.
Yeah.
We'll get into the Super Bowl a little bit later in the show. We have some guests that'll be on in a little bit. But should we start with the big trade from the NBA first? Should we go there?
Of course. I mean, you know that we have been talking about this just about every single step of the way. So, I mean, yeah, let's see. Let's hear what you want to say, Bozzy. I'm interested to see what you think about this.
So for listeners out there, the Philadelphia 76ers traded Ben Simmons, Steph Curry.
All-star Ben Simmons, by the way. Not this year, but in years past.
Yes. Like I said, Simmons, Curry, Andre Drummond, and I believe it was 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
To the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for James Harden and Paul Millsap. So as a Sixers fan, I would say initially I was happy for the news. Number one, you get James Harden. I mean, we all know what James Harden can be. I mean, he's one of the most prolific scorers in the game.
Great defender.
Yeah, when he tries. Keyword is when he tries. He's actually, I would say
he has not been trying recently.
That's the thing. Like
he has been awful. He's been giving a horrendous effort on the court.
No, he has.
Which he just seems to do when he just wants to be traded.
We'll see how that plays out in Philly.
Yeah,
but,
I was gonna say how long until he gets mad at something in Philly.
I know
he doesn't like the way Doc Rivers tells him not to shoot as much, and then we'll see what happens.
That's a question that remains to be answered. But the flip side is obviously a lot of the fans, I would say a great majority of the fans in Philly wanted Simmons gone ever since last season ended.
When he was unfairly blamed for the team's collapse.
We can debate that later.
It was the team's collapse.
No, I agree with that. I mean, it was definitely not only him. I would say he's one of the reasons. I mean, it's really hard to get into.
Sure, like an all-star lets you down, you're going to be disappointed in them. But I would argue like there was other guys who messed up too.
Yeah, no,
I thought the coaching wasn't great. Yeah, nobody's calling for Doc Rivers' head. I don't think he's been a great coach. Like I don't know. I mean, he in the playoffs.
It's funny.
He's done a decent job. Like I would say, manning the waters this year.
I actually saw something. He was named actually one of the top 15 coaches of all time.
I saw that, which I thought it was actually insane.
It's a little crazy. Yeah,
it was actually ridiculous.
But back to the
great coach on the Celtics.
Yeah,
they kind of got lucky when they got Garnett, though. Just saying.
He could never get over the hump with the Clippers with those good teams.
That was a lot. Part of me holds that against them. Like they never beat the Warriors ever.
No. Well, they never got to the conference finals in his era. They got there last year for the first time ever in franchise history with Ty Lue.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously, I think the trade, though.
Yeah, they didn't even have Kawhi.
No, they did not. I mean, if they had Kawhi, who knows what would happen?
Mr. Fun Guy.
Yeah, they still took Phoenix to 6 games, too.
I'm a fun guy. I love Kawhi Leonard. I love Kawhi Leonard. He's the man.
Yeah, but back to the trade. I think it benefits both teams, just in the sense that with the Nets, the big three, they can never really play together. They only played, I mean, a little over a dozen games. Maybe 13 games. Yeah, with Kyrie, his status is up in the air because he can't play home games as of now. Durant has been on the shelf. He should be coming back soon. And Harden's had some injury problems of his own. So they get Simmons. I mean, obviously, we know what he can do when he's on the court. I mean, he's an all-world defender, good playmaker, can rebound. Obviously, we know what his main deficiency is. I mean, I don't think we have to say that out loud.
Shooting.
Yeah. They get Steph Curry, who obviously provides some outside shooting. They already have Patty Mills, and if they get Joe Harris back, I mean, those are 3 snipers right there. Drummond's a good backup center, and then they get the 2 first-round picks. We'll have to see how Durant, Kyrie, and Simmons mesh when they're all on the court together. I mean, that could be a scary trio if they really figure out how to work it out. But I think from the Sixers perspective, I think getting Harden, I mean, this clearly shows that they're all in right now. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
when they
had no choice.
They had no choice.
They had to make a move for, I think, a great guard. You know what I mean? I think that's the one thing holding them back. I mean, you've said that. I'm interested, though. Like, I don't know if you think this, and I'm not trying to cut you off, but, like, how do you think they're going to use Harden? Because, you know, one of the things we saw was, like, he was really good with the ball in his hands, like, as the guy who was the point guard, essentially, like the de facto point guard. And I know he's not a point guard. He's technically a shooting guard, but, you know, he is a very ball dominant player. And I don't know, like, I'm just thinking, like, maybe if there's more attention on him, it opens, like, shots up for other guys. I mean, you don't really have a great shooting team, but I still think, like, I think highly enough of Tobias Harris. Like, he's the guy who I think is going to succeed the most from this, just because he should get a lot of shots, and he should get a lot of, like, good shots.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
I'm just comparing this to when we traded for Jimmy Butler back in 2019.
Yeah, but I think that Harden,
just in the
when
sense
he's
that
at his
Tobias
best,
is not going to have to be like the number 2. He's really going to be the number 3 now.
Yeah, but you're paying him like he's a number 1. I guess.
I know. That's another story too.
Awful contract.
And that's another story too, because Harden's obviously getting a crap load of money.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of money.
40-something million per year.
Yeah, I mean
and Embiid too on top of that.
No, you're built to win. I mean, listen, you're going for it all, and I mean, I see nothing wrong with that. I mean, wouldn't it be crazy if, like, I don't know, like if Harden didn't re-sign with you guys? Like, don't you think like that's the ultimate like awful move?
Yeah. I guess the only thing that could offset that
is he just like is him and
year.
Daryl Morey that close? Is that really why this happened, or they just know each other and that was it? Like, or are they like close?
I'm not sure if they're close. I mean, obviously they know who each other are. I mean, they were in Houston for many years.
And then Daryl
Morey was the one who brought him to Houston,
and he got fired.
Right,
because the whole was it the Hong Kong thing that he got fired for?
That might have been a part of it.
Okay, yeah. I don't think he got fired for that. Actually, I actually don't think he got fired for that.
I mean, that was obviously a bad look on him. I mean,
wow.
When he had Chris Paul, that's true too.
Yeah.
When he had Chris Paul and Harden, I mean, they didn't reach the finals. They obviously got very close that one year when they were actually up 3-2 in Golden State. But
I will say he's like the opposite of your former GM, Sam Hinkie. Like, he's always looking for the one move that always will put you in a championship position.
Keep in mind, Daryl Morey is actually not the GM. It's Elton Brand. But Daryl Morey really runs everything. He's the president of the basketball operations.
Yeah, Elton Brand has not really been that great of a GM for you guys.
Yeah, I know. He's made some spotty signings that have been like okay, like Niang and Drummond. I think were decent signings.
Yeah, but I mean,
other than that,
come on.
Yeah,
I actually think that's a good move for the Nets, getting a center like that.
Yeah, I know they had Claxton.
Yeah, but
he's athletic. They could use another
Drummond's
one.
a great rebounder.
Great rebounder. He's a bruiser.
Yeah. He is a great rebounder. And
I mean, that is a loss for the Sixers because now who's going to come in when Embiid has to sit? I mean, they could go small ball with Millsap or Niang or Charles Bassey. We'll have to see.
Mm-hmm.
But back to your point about like going all in, like this is the window to win for the Sixers. Like it's now or never. They needed a co-star. I've been saying this on the show multiple times. They needed a co-star besides Embiid because I didn't think Harris could be like the true number 2.
Oh, I think that's clear.
And now he's the number 3. So, like you said, he'll probably get better looks.
Yeah.
But like on the court, though, I mean, I could totally.
Your defense is taking a hit.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I will say you mentioned defense. I'm actually really surprised that Sixers got the deal without giving it Maxey or Thybulle. I was shocked by that they got it.
And what do you think? Like, how do you think that this is gonna? And Maxey's another guy too who's gonna get open shots.
See, that thing with Maxey is like I know he can make the shots that are open.
He's not consistent.
He's not very consistent. I mean, he can make threes. He's really good from the mid range, but he's actually really good around the rim too. But yeah, we'll have to see because the way I'm thinking is like Harden's going to be bringing it up every time, more often than not. I mean, the pick and roll with Embiid could be deadly.
Yeah.
The thing is, if
your defense is going to be really
if
bad.
Embiid gets doubled though offensively, like Harden's going to be open, or like Danny Green.
I don't think. Yeah, I know.
Danny Green can make threes, like we've seen that in the past. He's not what he used to be.
Yeah, he's up and down.
See, like Matisse Thybulle, he's not a great shooter. I mean, he can make them here and there, but he's not great. The only other good shooter on the team would be like Furkan Korkmaz, but he's been inconsistent this season.
Yeah, you guys definitely lack in shooting, and I think this was a really good move to make for that.
Yeah.
Because you don't get just one of the best shooters in the league. You get arguably, I think, a top 5 offensive player.
Right. Yeah, and I don't think
arguably, I don't think you have to make that argument. He's a top 5 offensive player.
Yeah.
I would say after Curry, LeBron, Durant.
Yeah, there's some others again.
I mean, you could say
Luka Doncic.
I think he's better than Luka.
I think he's better than Luka.
I think he is.
Offensively? Yeah, he might be.
Yeah.
Whatever. Kind of similar, the step back 3 and all that.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. How many times he scored like 30-point games in a row, Harden?
Oh, yeah, on the streak. Yeah. That was unbelievable.
I mean, that was unbelievable.
The thing is, though, when he was in Houston, when they were like the 1 seed that 1 year, I mean, he had so many shooters around, like Eric Gordon, Trevor Ariza.
That was so smart. I don't know why.
Tucker, and then they had like Clint Capella down there.
I don't know why they ever went away from that. I actually thought that was.
But they're going to win the finals.
I did too. I really liked what they did.
Yeah, they did.
I think that's the thing for the Sixers. If you re-sign him, you got to get shooting around.
Yeah, see, the thing is, the starting.
You know who the Sixers should go after next year? Call me crazy, but I think they should try and get Joe Ingles when he's like a free agent. Like I know he just tore his ACL, right? So he's going to be out for a while.
Yeah, he'll probably not come back till
middle of next season,
second half of next season.
That'd be a guy I would take.
Yeah, he's going
to be on a low contract too.
He's a good shooter.
Yeah, exactly. But I also think he's going to get cut. But he's making a lot of money.
I could easily see him going back to Utah too.
I could see that too.
Yeah, there's something there. Yeah, I agree with you. I do think Harden and Embiid, obviously, I mean, that's a great duo just on paper. We'll see how it works in the court. But I am a little worried about the shooting. I mean, we have guys that can make shots, but can they make enough shots?
Yeah, I think that's a question for every team besides like the Warriors and the Suns.
Also, I think Harden and Embiid, you know what they're going to get. Like he's been like 23 points a game around there this year. Embiid's been on a tear. He's been like averaging like 28, 29. Can you get secondary scoring? Like, can Harris be the consistent number 3? Can you get other scoring from like Maxey or Korkmaz? Like Shake Milton's another guy. He's been on the shelf. He can provide a little punch off the bench. We'll have to see. I think it's a good trade for both teams. I don't think you can really answer who wins it right now. You can go either way. I mean, if either team wins the title, I think that's the clear answer.
Yeah, no, that's obviously it. It's title or bust for both teams. So that's pretty much how this result's going to work out. And I think it would be hilarious if Ben Simmons and the Nets were able to beat you guys.
I know. That would be quite the playoff
matchup. That would be quite the playoff matchup. And I think that's what everybody's hoping for. Everybody is hoping for that. So, I'm going to ask you really, really quickly before we bring on our first guest. How do you think the Nets are going to work out with Simmons and Kyrie and Durant, who right now, Simmons is not going to be playing, I think, for a little bit of time. I would expect maybe a month.
I'm not sure. I haven't really read into him that much.
It's going to take time. Depends on how in shape he is. And then also, too, Durant's hurt. He's not really playing.
Yeah, I think he said he'll be back after the All-Star break.
Okay. And then Kyrie, we already know the story there, only plays half the games. I mean, the team is bad right now.
See, obviously the three of them are.
They got Cam Thomas out there trying to make it. For
Yeah,
you know what I
Patty
mean?
Mills, Bruce Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, we know how good those three players are that you mentioned. The tricky thing is they kind of all need the ball in a sense. Like,
yeah.
I think the one guy that can really be off the ball. I mean, like I guess Durant. And even Kyrie, because he can make open shots, like catch and shoot.
But he's great with the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
He's an elite. I think honestly,
if they use
it's gonna
Simmons,
work. I think it's gonna work if they better than you think.
Yeah, I think the key for them though, if they use Simmons in like small ball 5 lineups, where you can play the 5
with Durant and him. Poof, that's a matchup nightmare. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll have Simmons bring the ball up as much as you think, just because if he's on the perimeter and Durant's in the post, like all the attention is going to Durant because Simmons is not going to shoot.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
But also he's a good passer, so he can, I think, make the passes to them as needed. And I think it's just
yeah.
And who knows? Maybe he'll find a jump shot with the Nets.
Yeah, I think the question is, maybe this is a little biased coming from a Sixers fan, but like when it really counts, will Ben Simmons show up? I think it's a fair question to ask.
I think it's a fair question to ask about James Harden too, because he's never won anything.
Yeah, they've both have. Well, Harden's been in the conference finals once or twice, but Simmons has never been there. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
That game on March 10th back in Philly.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I saw it at Wells Fargo Center. I think it was you who liked it. That's when it came up. And it was on my Twitter feed, and it had the dates. And I was like, what is this? And then I go, and I'm like doing some internet searching, and I see all the Sixers fans are like, trying to rally themselves up for that date against Ben Simmons. I wonder if Ben Simmons will even be playing by then, though.
That's a good point, too. Those ticket prices I was looking, they're crazy expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope he plays. What day of the week is that?
It's a Thursday night.
Oh, it's got to be on TNT.
It is.
It's got. Yeah, I was gonna say it's got to be on TNT.
So it's actually the only game on at that time. There's only 2 games on. The other one's like a 10 o'clock game.
Yeah.
I think it's like Golden State and Denver. That's a decent game too. But
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
lots of decipher there.
We can bring on our first guest. So I'm gonna let her in now. All right. So, all right. She's being let in. So anyway, we have a little bit of a different kind of show today. Like obviously we're going to talk about the Super Bowl, but we have a special guest on. We welcome in Ava. Ava, hi, how are you?
Hi guys, I'm good. How are you?
Of course, Jeffrey, every time. This is every time we do the Zoom, you don't have the mic on. So now I'm just talking to nobody.
All right, Ava, I think you can talk now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
How are you guys?
All right, I'm good.
Pretty good. Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
we're coming.
We are excited to have you. So, all right. Obviously, we know you're not the biggest football fan in the world, but you were telling us earlier that you watched the Olympics. So hit us with the Olympic stuff. What's going on? I have not watched a single minute of the Olympics. Actually, that's not true. I watched the opening ceremony for 5 minutes and turned it off because I just didn't enjoy it. But I don't know. What's going on? Tell us what's going on in the world of Olympics.
So the Winter Olympics are going on right now, and last night was snowboarding. So Shaun White was competing for his last time before his career was ending. And he obviously has a bit of a disadvantage with his age, but everyone was really rooting for him. And he was doing really well the whole time, and he actually fell on his last run of his full career. Super, super sad. Didn't even get a medal. I think he came in 4th. And his 2 performances were really good. And then the 3rd one, he fell. So just so emotional to see. But yeah, Chloe Kim is doing well. I think she's like the first woman to get a 2nd gold medal in snowboarding. And
boy, Nathan Chen, is he still doing good?
Nathan Chen's doing, he just won something big.
Yeah,
I think he won the gold last night.
Yeah. I think Australia took the gold last night.
In in snowboarding?
Yeah.
Wow. Where did they snow?
Wait, no. Actually, I think Japan did. I can't remember.
Okay.
But
yeah. I was gonna say, we lost to Australia. It doesn't even snow there.
No, I know, but they did so well. He's 16 or 17. He's crazy good. And Shaun White's 35, so he is such a disadvantage with his age.
Okay, when you said old, I thought you were gonna say that he's 45. I was thinking Tom Brady old, but I guess 35 is old, in sports.
I mean, to do the tricks that they're doing.
Tom Brady playing until 45, and you're okay, maybe that's not nearly as old, but no, he's still old. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Easy old. I mean, there's 16 and 17-year-olds competing against him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. All right. So obviously we know one of your passions is cooking. You love to cook. So, we all know the Super Bowl is like a big cooking day. So
Yeah.
give us like I don't want to say like a top whatever amount, but like give us some of your like favorite things to, I don't know. Have you ever cooked on the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I love the
So
Super
what's
Bowl.
like
Well,
your
I
favorite
just love,
thing? What's the best things in your opinion?
yeah.
Best
Love the
favorite?
Super
Hit us with
Bowl.
that.
Love the Super Bowl in general, but I do think that the food is like a crucial part, just like the halftime show and like the commercials. Like they're all definitely important things to go along with the game, obviously. Um, top few. Definitely think like wings and like nachos are essentials, just like for game day. Love the dips. I think it's so fun just to come together. Like I remember when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, like our whole neighborhood had like this huge party, and it's just so fun to like get together. Everyone's in their jerseys, big potluck. Like I don't know, I think the energy is almost, I mean, don't take my opinion over others, but I think like the energy and excitement is almost more fun than like
Yeah, well,
watching the game
when
itself.
your team plays, yeah, it's pretty awesome. But when your team loses by 35 points, it sucks. Let me tell you. Just saying, makes for an awful next couple days at school. Let me just say. I just want to say that.
That
Like
is true.
like losing
Yeah.
by 35 in the Super Bowl, I'd argue worst thing ever. Jeff, could you imagine if you went to the Eagles Super Bowl and they lost by 35? Like they got killed like the Broncos did.
Sounds like a you problem.
Sounds like a me problem. Yeah, it was
That wasn't that far out of the question for
a
us.
me problem. What'd you
No
say?
offense.
What'd you say, Ava?
I said that wasn't that far like out of the question for us. Like that could have very easily happened.
I mean, yeah.
Backup quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, yeah, it is still actually crazy that they won with the backup quarterback. But nonetheless, hey, that's sports. That's what makes it great. So I guess, are you cooking anything this year for the Super Bowl? Like, I mean, you're at school. I mean, I don't even know like how you do that. I mean, I know you still cook, but I mean, I don't cook, but it's impossible for me to cook.
Me too. I can't do it.
No.
I know. Well, when we have our game day
Microwaves
party,
are a little even bit of a challenge if we're being honest.
when we have our game day party, I'll definitely make sure to bring something. But I'm definitely excited to watch the game. Like I'm definitely rooting for Joe Burrow. I know that's like super basic.
Cliche, yeah, pretty cliche.
But I do like his story. Like I do. Like I think that it's important that he didn't play like at all for Ohio, and then went to
Ohio
LSU
State,
and won the championship. Like I don't know. I like that he's young. I like I mean, biased, but like I can't see Tom Brady anymore. Like I'm sorry, but like bye. Have fun in retirement.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's nice seeing young people back in there.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it is. It is nice to see new people. I agree, especially the other quarterback, Matt Stafford of the Rams. He has never been in the Super Bowl either, but he's also very old. I mean,
he's not young.
Standards. So, they're both getting their first crack at it. So,
I mean, one of them's getting the win.
Yeah, I know.
Who are you guys betting on?
Well,
I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the Rams just because I don't know why.
There's more pressure on the Rams in this game.
Yeah.
The Rams are kind of built to like win the Super Bowl now, whereas the Bengals, like this, I think this is the beginning of being great for the Bengals.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it's too like Joe Burrow's only what 24.
24.
Jeffrey?
Yeah,
okay, he's 24.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. So he has so much ahead of him, and obviously, he's got a young team around him too. It's not just him. So, I mean, I definitely.
Yeah, I think Jamar Chase just won like rookie.
Yeah,
right? Didn't they that last night?
Year.
He's really good.
Yeah, Javonte Williams completely robbed. We don't have to talk about it. It's whatever. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He was not robbed. Obviously, Jamar Chase should have won. But, yeah, I mean, they definitely have a great young team, and I think we're going to see a lot of the Bengals over the next couple of years. I have to say, I think they're going to kind of pass the Chiefs just because they have all that cap space and they can really build up their defense. So that's one thing. But who are you? So you're like 100% on the Bengals? Like there's no ands, ifs, or buts? Like there's nothing to like about the Rams?
I just don't think I followed the Rams as much as I did with the Bengals. But I mean, I know it's going to be close. I feel like when it's an easy win, it's not even an interesting game. So
yeah, like last year sucked.
Yeah.
Last year was awful. I mean, that was a terrible Super Bowl, for being honest.
Yeah,
We got to watch this Brady guy win again. Come on, it's so old. And then I mean, it was sickening for me too because I didn't really want to see the Chiefs win either. But
Yeah.
I mean,
lose.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think what else here. So, what do you excited think about the halftime show?
Yeah, I feel like the halftime shows have just progressively been getting worse over
Wow,
the years.
really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do think it'll obviously be like a very lively performance.
You didn't like last year's. You didn't like the weekend.
No, I thought the weekend was crazy boring. I think the last one that I like
Wow, I
remember
actually
being
thought it was good, and I'm not even like a halftime show person. I usually never watch.
I think it
Yeah.
was good, but I didn't think there was anything about it that like wowed me. I was like, whoa, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I just wish he brought more people.
Okay,
Like, I
well, we
feel
all
like he's
can't have
one
sharks dancing
person.
up on the stage, guys. Okay, I don't know what you expect every single year. You want there to be dancing sharks and
Yeah.
Lady Gaga coming from the top of the whatever that stadium is called in Houston. I mean,
One of
geez.
the best ones in my book, I will say, was Bruno Mars, Coldplay, and Beyonce.
That was good.
Yeah, I will say too. I thought like I'm trying to think the other years. Maroon 5 was pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I was more fixated during.
Travis Scott was fun. He did a good
I was
one.
more fixated with the whole Dave Portnoy getting dragged out of the Super Bowl during that time. Like I didn't really like care about the halftime show during that. I was more like, "Whoa, this guy just got dragged out of the Super Bowl. This is awesome."
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just thought it was pretty cool.
I think it's gonna be interesting because this is the first year in a while where I feel like it's not like one main artist and then he'll bring on a guest or she'll bring on a guest, but it's really like a mixture of like 5 different artists.
I think
And
it's
I
actually
like that. I like the groups, and I love Mary J. Blige. Like, I think it'll be fun to have like a bunch of people and like their collabs, and I'm sure they'll each have their own time. But I think like I mean, it can't be bad. Like, you can't have a poor Super Bowl show. It's like a huge audience. You got to make it somewhat interesting.
yeah. I feel like he does always kind of like rise to the occasion. Like not everybody's gonna love every single person.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like in all honesty, like I am kind of surprised that they did pick them. Like all the people that they picked. Who they picked? They picked Eminem. They picked Dr. Dre. They picked Kendrick Lamar, and they picked Mary
J. Blige and someone else.
Is there
I
someone
do
else?
love Kendrick. I will say.
Yeah, I
I'm
like
most
Kendrick
excited
Lamar.
for him.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the last person. If there even is a last person.
It's
Yeah, I
Snoop
think
Dogg. I think is it Snoop Dogg?
Is it?
It could be.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
is in
know.
LA. I guess that would make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely interesting, but I'm actually surprised that you said you think it's getting progressively worse because I still think that they'd still get the like decent acts. You know what I mean?
I do too. I think the weekend was just a bit underwhelming because I feel like with one person, you have to bring someone else. Like, I feel like it was too long of a performance for one person.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I really remember was those crazy lights when he was walking through the mirrors and the lights, and
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of like the lights that people put up in their room, the LED lights, like when you turn the lights off. That's kind of like what it looked like. If you had a bunch of mirrors around there.
Well, you bring up just being one person. I remember Justin Timberlake's when we were in the Super Bowl. I thought that was like not great.
Oh yeah, you were there in person.
Yeah,
you actually pay attention.
I see that.
Yeah, so I think most people were watching. I mean, there's nothing else to do. I mean, your eyes are probably
You
fixated.
could go to the bathroom.
I mean, yeah, but like it's the Super Bowl halftime. I don't think people would like miss.
I don't know. You should
No.
stop eating, so I don't really,
I think people around me were definitely watching Timberlake. I mean, I didn't think it was like great. I would give it like a B plus. Like it was okay.
Okay. And then what do
you guys say is your favorite then of like all the Super Bowl performances that you?
You ready for this?
J-Lo and Shakira.
I actually love that.
Pretty good.
I actually loved the Sharks with Katy Perry. I actually love that one.
You love the Sharks?
I thought it was great. I just thought it was something different. Like I thought it was cool.
I don't know. Like I don't really pay attention to much of the Super Bowl halftime show. If I'm being completely honest. Like how? Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't even like. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of some of the acts. Like I can't even think off the top of my head the last one I actually paid attention to. I mean, I guess it would be The Weeknd, just because I like a couple of his songs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, wait, my mom actually just chimed in. She goes, Ava is so right. Halftime shows have been getting terrible. It would be nice to understand what they were saying.
It is actually funny. It's actually funny that you guys think that because I'm doing a research question in one of my classes, and I'm actually looking at how people think about the halftime shows. Actually, believe it or not, most of the time people think positively of them. And I'm very surprised. Like I always thought, I thought people were always ripping them to shreds, but like it's like nope, 75% positivity. I'm like, wow, that's surprising. Like it is based off of.
I don't think they've gotten crazy bad. I think they've gotten slowly worse.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean,
better. I do not think they've gotten better.
there's a lot of controversy. Like, wasn't there? I feel like there was a big controversy with whoever they pick. Obviously you can't
Well,
since
this
it's
is the
such
first time they've gone all like rap and hip hop, so in R&B.
yeah.
So obviously there's
Well,
going to be a little bit of a shakeup there, and people are going to be like, "Whoa."
yeah, and there's such a wide demographic for this Super
True.
Bowl audience, so it's kind of you're not going to be able to please everyone.
That is also very true. I mean, you literally cannot please everyone. Like, it's literally impossible. That's why I thought The Weeknd was good last year, because I thought he was pretty in the middle. Same with Maroon 5.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody else liked them, so I don't want to keep harping on it. If nobody else really liked it. I'm trying to think what else. All right, Ava, you want to give us like a prediction about the game really quick? Give us something to, give us a bold prediction.
I think it definitely is going to be a close game.
Okay.
As much as I want the Bengals to win, I don't know if I would like put legit money on them winning. Just because what?
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 We're laughing. We're laughing.
Well, I don't know. I would like the Bengals to win, but I can see it going the other way.
I think that's a fair input.
All right, you want to give us a score? Give us a score.
I don't know, guys. I'm gonna go definitely in the 30s.
Okay, high scoring. All right.
Yeah, I think the Rams are gonna win, if I'm being honest.
Okay, well, that was a really weird flip. She went yeah, I like the Bengals, and
No, I like the Bengals. No, I am rooting for the Bengals, but logistically,
say that the Bengals are gonna win. If you want the Bengals to win, just be confident in it.
No, see, I'm on Ava's side because I remember we were picking Loyola versus Colgate in the Patriot Finals.
I know, and a lot of people were upset by that, Jeffrey. A lot of people were upset by you and Colin picking.
I hated being right, but I was right.
Oh, thank God! At the end of the day, you're right. This is from me, who literally, in any argument ever, does not end it until he finds a way to be right. Who cares? Who cares about being right about that? Like, why not root for your school?
No, I am. I'm just telling you.
No, I want to be right.
I
don't want to go with the easy answer with my bias.
It's like when you picked against the Eagles for how many weeks on the show. I'm like, oh, you think they win this week? You go like, nope.
part of it's me thinking that they're actually going to win because I think they're going to lose.
Oh, okay.
Opposite psychology.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's actually a thing.
Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe I need to start doing that. With all my teams. We are not going to win tonight. And then you're right when they don't win.
You expect the worst and then you get the best.
Exactly. You can't have too high of expectations.
No, okay. But then if you don't have expectations, then there's nothing to, strive for.
Yeah, that's true. What about James Harden and the Sixers?
Yeah.
I'm very happy. I think it was a great move.
Ben Simmons finally free of that dump of a city, and now he can move on and go to a good city like Brooklyn. He's going to thrive there. He's going to thrive. I like Ben Simmons a lot. Great player.
No, I think it was a great move for the Sixers. We better win the title. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, no, it's title or bust for both teams, definitely. So, what do you think about that? Are you a basketball girl?
I am. I definitely think that it's a good addition. I would most definitely prefer him over Ben Simmons. I don't think Ben Simmons has brought too much to our team lately.
You're not kidding. He hasn't even been out there. So no. He really hasn't brought much to the team.
So we'll see. I mean, I like the rotation. I think that it'll be interesting to see how he plays elsewhere. But yeah, I don't know too much bad press or bad scores about James Harden. So I'm definitely.
Oh, well, I think you're going to find that some specific type of places where specifically men hang out that serves alcohol and you can watch stuff is going to be very popular for Mr. Harden. The city, Great. This style of business in Philadelphia is going to see a boom. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. That's literally the best I could describe it to everyone out on the show and listening, and to you as. But that's maybe the bad press you can find about James Harden. Oh, also he doesn't play defense too. That's like a thing. So, so I guess we'll have to see. I mean, how long until the Sixers fans turn on him, Jeff?
It remains to be seen.
That remains to be seen. There you go. They ran Foles out of town, ran Carson Wentz out of town. Now we're going to run Ben Simmons out of town. Next, Harden's going to be run out of town. Is that what's going to happen here? How many guys are going to run out in a fucking, excuse me. Should not have said that word. That was in a couple months span. Just saying. That was, I think, the first F-bomb this year that I said.
Oh, God.
Oh, well, there you go. You're part of WLY history there. It slipped out. It definitely slipped out. I'd been good, I think it was going on like what, a 2.5-year stretch now. It had been a while.
That long? Wow.
Yeah, of not cursing on the air, and then it happened. Oh well, say it happens.
We'll leave that aside for another day.
I know my grandma's disappointed. She's definitely listening, and she's really disappointed. So sorry, Grandma. Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Well, Ava, thank you for coming on. I thought you did a really good job.
Yeah, I really appreciate the insight.
Thanks, guys. I'm so happy you invited me on.
Yeah, I thought you did a great job.
We'll definitely have to have you on again sometime in the
Yes, and when lacrosse season starts, I want to be a part. Are you covering lacrosse?
Yeah, we're going to cover lacrosse.
Starts tomorrow, and the women start next week. It's going to be fun.
We're the Michael Bozzi fan club. Come on.
Yeah,
shout out Cornell, enter name here's, whatever they're called.
The big red.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm going to get my Michael Bozzi jersey, and I'm going to wear it. Yeah. All right, Ava, thank you as always.
Take care,
Ava. Guys. All right, I'll see you soon.
All right, bye-bye. Yeah, I thought she did very good.
That was great.
She was very good.
That was a fun interview because we had sports obviously tied into it, but we also mixed in like the food and the halftime show. I thought it was great.
All right. You want to go break or you want to let in Eddie Stank? He's ready. He's ready. Let's let him in.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
So he'll be on. Eddie, my boy, what's up? How you doing?
What's going on, boys? How we doing?
Good.
Yeah.
So Eddie, really quick, are you a Nets fan?
No, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm not like a
Okay. I thought you were a Nets fan for some reason because I know the whole Long Island thing. But what do you think about the trade?
The Nets definitely won the trade, I think.
Whoa, don't tell Bozzy and his friends that. They don't want to hear that.
I don't know. I like this. I like the trade for both teams. I'm not that big of an NBA guy, but yeah, the trade looked pretty good. The fact that Seth Curry got added to the trade helped the Nets out a lot, I think. He's an amazing shooter, like his brother. And the Sixers gave up a lot though, just for James Harden, who hasn't been as great of a player this year, I think. So yeah, but it worked out for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's a move that like both teams had to make just because they both had high caliber players who didn't want to play on the team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, what else could they have done?
It had to be done. There's no.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, the Sixers needed a second co-star. I mean, I think that was pretty clear.
And they also had to get rid of Ben Simmons.
And yeah, that's true too. And the thing with the Nets is they obviously had the big three. It's just something wasn't clicking there. Obviously injuries, COVID vaccine stuff going on. Like there's just something not clicking. I mean, when you saw them play together, they were electric. I mean, I remember they played the Bulls like a few weeks ago. They put up like 138. I was like, all right, they're going to be healthy and they're playing like, look out, like good night with the other teams. But yeah, something just wasn't clicking there. They needed a change. And yeah, I think Simmons could fit in well there. We'll see when he gets on the court because that's another story too.
Yeah, Simmons is good in most aspects of his game other than shooting. And the Nets really don't need a shooter right now. When they have Kyrie and KD on the floor, and now Seth Curry, they're not going to need a shooter. So
I mean, they also have Patty Mills too. And then if they get Joe Harris back from injury, I mean,
it's
pretty prolific shooting right there.
Yeah, I still think the Nets have a better roster. Gonna be honest, when they're at full strength, I think they are.
Yeah, I'll take the Nets too, I think.
Yeah. All right, Eddie. So obviously, you know it's this weekend. Obviously, we just got done talking about it with our other guest. She picked the Bengals. So let's hear what you have to say about the game. I know that you have a lot of thoughts about it. So just go off.
Yeah, all right. So let's think. I don't like the Rams, first of all. So I'm rooting hard for the Bengals in this game.
Really? You don't? Why don't you like the Rams?
I had the NFC team. They injured Carson Wentz.
Oh my God.
I don't like him.
The guy who's not even on your team anymore.
Yeah, no. Now I don't care about Carson.
He injured the guy that we chased out of town.
I was laughing when he lost to Week 18. But I think the Rams are going to be a tough team to beat. The Bengals O-line is horrible. They're one of the worst O-lines I've ever seen in the Super Bowl, I think. Would you guys agree with that? If you guys remember,
they're a pretty bad offensive line.
I would agree with you there.
He's constantly under pressure.
Yeah, I've never heard of a quarterback getting sacked 8 times in the divisional round and winning the game.
No.
That's
just because the Chiefs defense and the Titans. Well, you're talking about the divisional. That was just because the offense by the Titans was so bad that helped, and then the Chiefs defense also stunk.
Yeah, it did. But Joe Burrow is that guy though. He gives me like Tom Brady.
He's that guy.
Brady vibes. Like he's that guy that can get it done. Like him not having an offensive line doesn't make me count him out of the game. Oh yeah, the Rams are a super team. If they lose this game, it's going to be a colossal failure. So they're like the team expected to win. I think that's the team all the money is coming in on. The Rams need to win, but I'm going to be rooting for the Bengals. I think the Bengals can pull this off. Joe Burrow is different, and if the Bengals defense plays the way they did in that AFC Championship game, they have more than a good chance to win. I think they kept Mahomes 0 points in the second half. Where the Chiefs scored 3 points.
3 points.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's still very impressive. Obviously,
that's unreal defense. So that's how they're gonna have to play against the Rams.
Yeah. So like, what are you thinking as far as like Stafford versus Burrow? Like, who do you think has the better game there? And do you give an advantage to anyone in particular?
Yeah, I have to give the advantage to Stafford just from the experience of being in the NFL so long. Although he is new in the Super Bowl, like along with Burrow. But yeah, I have to give Stafford the slight advantage, especially with his weapons too. Stafford has more time to throw, and more weapons to throw to. Having Kupp and Odell is just absolutely like ridiculous. They're both so good. And then yeah, but Burrow, he's got weapons too. But I think they're both gonna play really well. I'm expecting a high scoring game actually. Yeah, opposed to last year, it was pretty low scoring, but just the Chiefs didn't score. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I think there's a chance both quarterbacks could throw for 3 touchdowns. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I think the Bengals might pull this one out, honestly.
And here's the thing. Here's the one advantage I give the Bengals. And the Rams, sometimes they're very weak against the run. They, as much as they're great against like the pass, obviously with their pass rush specifically, they can be weak. Like their linebackers are not that great. Like obviously Aaron Donald is great D tackle. We know what he can do. Their linebackers aren't great. They're really not. And I think that Joe Mixon has the potential to have a pretty big game, like in my opinion.
Yeah, Joe Mixon. I love Joe Mixon as a player. He's a really good player. I would love for him to go off the Super Bowl. And I think he definitely can. The Rams have not been great at stopping the run.
No, they really have it. I mean, and also too, I will give the Bengals credit. They're a team that has battled all year. And, there was one point where they were out of the playoffs. Like I remember they were 7 and 5, and they were in the hunt.
They were never like seen as a Super Bowl contender.
Well, at one point, remember they were in the 1 seed, and everybody's like, "Whoa!" But then they kind of like fell off a little bit. They had an awful loss to the Chargers, and they got absolutely cooked.
They also lost to the Jets.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But they absolutely got cooked by the Chargers.
They got crushed.
I remember we were watching that game together, and it was terrible. Yeah, they were not good that day, and
also the Jaguars at the beginning of the year too. I forgot about that. Jaguars did. Yeah, last second field goal Thursday Night Football.
Yeah. I listen. And they also played close with the Packers. Like that's like they're a team that just battles every game that they're in. I feel like it's always a tough one, except for the games they played against the Ravens. Am I right? Those were never tough. Those were always pretty easy wins for the Bengals.
Yeah, they did not. Ravens and Bengals did not match up well this year.
No,
I believe the Bengals went 5-1 in the division too. They only lost to Cleveland.
Oh, they got killed by Cleveland that one game, right?
Yeah,
they did. They got crushed in that game.
I know. I just that's why for me they're like an up and down team because I've seen them. I mean, literally, there was a 2-week stretch where they, barely got by. I forget who it was, and then they go the next week and they beat the Chiefs, and I'm like, wow, well, like the caliber and competition there should not be so, so different. Like if they could just play like that every game, then. But then you could say the same thing about the Rams too. They were pretty inconsistent all year.
Yeah, they were definitely.
They started off amazing. We saw that the game they beat Tampa Bay. I mean, I thought that they were gonna.
They really would have lost that game probably. If they didn't win that game in regulation, they would have definitely lost in overtime. I think.
Oh no! I'm talking about earlier in the season.
Oh, they killed Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they killed Tampa Bay at home.
Yeah, it was like week 3.
Yeah, but then that's a good point, Eddie, too, about that game. They go into these stretches where they almost like go into this, like, I don't want to call it a coma on offense.
It's like hibernation.
Yeah, they go into hibernation.
Yeah, hibernation. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, like they hibernate and they're nowhere to be seen for whatever stretch. And then they do this, then they come out and it's, guns a-blazing. You know what I mean? I mean, the same thing, too, against the Ravens. They were down and then they just pick it up in the middle of the third quarter.
Well, I know that both of you talked about the Bengals run game earlier. Yeah. I think the Rams run game is just as important too, because if they can get the ball rolling on the ground, I mean, that can open up deep shots to Kupp.
I'll give credit to the Bengals. They really haven't let too many guys run up on them, honestly. Derrick Henry didn't have that great of a game.
Yeah, the
Did Tyreek Hill hurt them or not really in the AFC title game? Tyreek Hill do anything? No?
That one was crazy. Tyreek Hill had a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think their secondary is a little weak. That's where I think that they're the weakest. So that's why I do think, like, I give the advantage to the Rams.
Jinxing everything, too, yeah.
Yeah, to the Rams, as far as that goes. But they you can't deny they have fought hard, and they have been there. They're not the most talented team. They're not. But you know what? They definitely fought to get here. What were you saying, Ed?
The most talented team doesn't always win the Super Bowl, though.
That is true. That is definitely true. I would argue that
about getting hot, and the Bengals are a hot team right now.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree that not always the most talented team wins the Super Bowl. I mean, I think about when the Broncos won, and I never thought they had the most talent. They just had a great defense. Their offense was terrible.
Yeah, no, their offense wasn't great that year. Yeah,
no, it was not.
Remember this one quote? I don't know who said it. It's like, talent doesn't beat hard work if the talent doesn't work hard or something like that.
I know what you're talking about. It was Kevin Durant. It's like, it's something like that. But
I thought that was perfect for this conversation.
I guess that is perfect. I mean, you know, the Bengals are like grinders. That's the way I look at them. They're like a grinder team. Like, they just got to grind out every win. You know what I mean? And they have so many different ways which they can go. They can run the ball. They can,
throw it.
They can throw it deep if they have to. But whatever's given to them, there's no doubt though that it's pretty amazing they've gotten this far with that bad of an offensive line.
It's crazy. Yeah, a second-year quarterback, that bad of an offensive line, a pretty young coach whose first 2 years in the league were absolutely miserable. Yeah, it's absolutely bizarre they're still here. Yeah.
I guess that's just a credit to Joey B. I guess Joey B.
One of my friends in like December said they could go to the Super Bowl. I started like laughing at him. I was like, do you know who the Cincinnati Bengals are? Like, come on. And
I guess the moment I took them seriously was when they beat the Chiefs
in the regular season.
Yes, that was when I started to take them seriously.
Yeah, but the Chiefs were on a big winning streak, right? Like,
yeah.
Time, yeah.
And I didn't think the Bengals had a chance against the Chiefs that game because
the best game of his career.
I thought that they played. I think the Bengals actually had played like the Broncos, and I had just watched them. And they only put up like 15 points. And I was like, they're not that good. Like, the Chiefs are going to absolutely blow them out.
Yeah.
And I was wrong. I was wrong. But, I credit to them. They're a young team, and they don't care what anybody says. They just go out there and perform. And I think you could make the case that this is literally like the Super Bowl is kind of like their entire season. Like, nobody picked them to win the Super Bowl. Nobody's picking, like, I would say, are people picking the Bengals? I feel like people want the Bengals to win, but nobody's actually picking them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
I think people are picking them, just not as many.
Yeah.
A lot of people want the Bengals, though. I mean,
but if you think the Rams are definitely like they're the clear-cut favorite here, right?
Oh yeah, more people think the Rams are going to win. Yeah, I would say people just that like football and watch, like want the Bengals to win. I would say.
Yeah. The Rams are kind of like they're not a bad story to me, but for some reason everybody seems to hate them.
They're just a super team. Like, they got everyone.
Yeah, they're a super team.
Miller,
if their stars play well, I mean, they're gonna win 10 times.
Particularly on defense, if their defensive stars win or like step up.
Yeah.
Honestly,
if 31 points. If their defense doesn't play well, the Bengals are gonna score 31 points too, probably.
That's true. I was true. Would you argue there's more pressure on like the Rams offense or the Rams defense? Because I feel like there's both a lot of flaws in the Bengals as like teams. Like, obviously, you think we're all expecting the Rams pass rush to like absolutely eat Burrow alive.
Yeah, I would say more pressure on the defense.
But also at the same time, it's like, Cooper Kupp is going to be on, like, he's going to have to worry about Eli Apple. Like, we have totally seen Eli Apple stink out there on the field. Like, I mean, they have to be like licking their chops right now, the Rams, and being like, hey.
Yeah, and how OBJ played last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they totally have to have a chance. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean,
curious to see it what the crowd's like, because the game's in LA, so it's like kind of like a Rams home game. But at the same time, you remember that the Rams.
There's no Rams home games.
That's what
Chargers home games.
Apparently, there's not a lot of Rams fans. There's probably a lot of bandwagon fans. Like, a lot of people live in LA, and they're like the hot team now. So probably
because it's weird because they came to LA like 6-something years ago.
Was it even that long ago? I don't even remember.
I think it's been a little.
Jared Goff's second year. The year went towards ACL. They played in LA, I think, right?
Yeah, they did. I would say there's more Rams fans in LA than Chargers fans in LA. Maybe that's just me.
No, they played Goff's first year too.
Oh,
in
really?
LA. Yeah, they
Oh,
played
yeah,
the
you're right.
Coliseum.
Jeff Fisher's last year was in.
Jeff Fisher. Yeah. Jeff
He's
Fisher.
coaching a team in the USFL now. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, I
I
did. They're
did,
called
yeah.
like the Michigan Panthers or something.
Yeah, but every game is played in Birmingham, Alabama. That's what I don't understand.
Maybe that's a COVID thing.
The bubble.
It is. I think it is a COVID thing.
Gotta be a COVID thing.
That's smart. Nope. There's going to be no cancellations.
Yeah, no cancellations.
Yeah, I think it's going to be on Fox, but I also saw it's going to be on NBC too.
Interesting.
So that is interesting.
NBC gets the Olympics, the Super Bowl, and that.
Wow. Yeah. It's
And the Derby.
yeah, I'm really going to be tuning in for the USFL. Can't wait to eat that up. I can't wait.
Did you ever watch the XFL or the AAF? Those shorts.
I watched the AAF. I never watched the XFL, which made no sense because the XFL literally had a team in New Jersey. Like they were the New York Guardians, but they played at East Rutherford at the Meadowlands. But also too, New Jersey has a team this time. So does Philly.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Stars.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. I like that. I mean, they brought back the old names because some of the old names are pretty cool. There was actually a lot of like star players in the USFL. Jim Kelly was in the USFL. Steve Young. You know, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, for sure. Eddie, any last thoughts about like the game? Like I don't know. What do you give me one guy that's under the radar that you think is going to that has the potential to have a huge game?
You might. I was gonna say Eli Apple just to be funny, but no, I'm not gonna.
that would.
I'm not gonna go there and just embarrass myself. Damn, it's a tough one. I really got to think here.
I've got one from each team.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm really
say.
thinking that.
On the Bengals, I could see T. Higgins kind of breaking out a little bit. For the Rams, I could see Cam Akers being that guy. I'm probably more on Akers than Higgins, just because I think when Akers is right, like he can be dangerous. Like the wild card game against the Cardinals, he was fantastic.
Yeah, that's true.
He was bad against Tampa Bay because he had 2 fumbles, but I mean, I'm telling you, he can really run all over the defense.
I'll give you one. I think that Tyler Higbee's going to have a big game.
Is he playing?
Yeah,
I think he's playing.
Uzoma was playing too, I think, actually.
Yeah, I think they're both going to play, which is pretty
Everyone's on
crazy.
the
That's big for both teams.
Yeah. And also, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Van Jefferson has a big game too, because I think the
He's a
Bengals,
good number 3.
as you go more down the Bengals secondary, I think the worse it gets.
Oh, no doubt.
And I think that was something really poor job that Mahomes and the Chiefs did last week, specifically on Andy Reid, because it's the coaching. They didn't spread the ball out enough. You know what I mean? They were trying to throw the same things. Like there's other stuff open, especially with your tight end. Like they have Travis Kelce. Like you're asking a guy who's going to be like the 3rd or 4th best DB to cover.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce. I don't know why you wouldn't attack that more.
Oh, I got a player. Trey Hendrickson, edge rusher for the Bengals.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
He had a big game.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a big game from Florida Atlantic. He's from Florida Atlantic. The Owls. So Eddie, all right. So give us last thing here. Give us winner, score prediction, and then basically
Maybe Super Bowl MVP
yes,
if
give
you
us
want.
a Super Bowl MVP too.
Do Bengals 31-28. Joe Burrow Super Bowl MVP.
Really?
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Basic with the Burrow MVP, but
And then how about you, Bozzy? You do the same thing.
I'll go 31-24 LA, and then I'll take Aaron Donald as my Super Bowl MVP.
Okay, that's all right. I'll take the Rams. I know this is going to be a little controversial. I'm going to say 24-17. And then I'm going to take Von Miller. I think Von, I know that's a little such like a home, like homer pick, but I think Von Miller's going to have a big game. I think he's going to be I think he's going to step up in the Super Bowl once again.
I'm actually shocked that you had 24-17. I'm surprised it wasn't higher. Not point differential. I'm talking like each team scoring more points. Like maybe it could be low scoring though.
I honestly was willing to give the Rams more points. I was going to say 28-17.
that would be a lot. But
I just hope it's not like last year when one team shows up, one team doesn't.
All right, then I'll say 28-17. I think the
You
Rams
can do whatever you want.
Yeah, no, but I wanted to make it within one score just because I want there to be a good game. You know what I
That's
mean?
why I wanted to do 31-24. But
Yeah.
I could easily see it coming down to like a McPherson kick. I mean,
That's why I picked 31-28. I could pick me a picture.
McPherson wins it at the buzzer and Cincinnati gets their Super Bowl.
Or it goes to overtime. He misses the kick, and then the Rams win by 6.
He does that celebration like he made it that time against the Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I can't wait. It's gonna be a fun one.
It is definitely going to be.
No one saw it coming. That's for sure.
I'd argue too. This is one of the first Super Bowls where it doesn't feel like one of the teams is kind of like evil. You know what I mean? Like, I can be okay with either team winning.
Me too. I agree with that 100%.
And then, so I mean,
there usually is an evil team in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I feel like every year there's like a team that I'm like, oh god,
like New England was the one.
The Patriots every year,
and the Chiefs.
The Chiefs too. They're definitely evil.
Yeah, this is an outlier.
This is definitely an outlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I completely agree with that. So, I this is an interesting thing too. Like, Zach Taylor didn't he work with Sean McVay?
Yeah, he's a Rams guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think it's interesting too how they're both like come from the same like group of coaching.
Tree, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's the successor versus the well, not really the successor, but the protege versus still a protege because Sean McVay is still very, very young.
Yeah, he's becoming a prodigy.
I'd argue yes. I mean, yeah.
Well, he's got to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, would he be youngest coach to ever win a Super Bowl if he wins, or would Madden still be younger?
I'm not sure.
I wonder that. I'm gonna look that up right now, actually, just because we have a couple minutes. I mean, John Madden, how old was he when he won his first Super Bowl? So let's look that up. John Madden first.
I think older than McVay, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like he was.
Madden played in the NFL. How long did it take him to become a head coach?
Okay, so John Madden was 42. I don't think Sean McVay is at all. I don't think he's in his 40s. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's 35, 34.
He's 36 years old.
Oh.
So he would be the youngest coach ever. And then would I wonder how old Zach Taylor is too, because would he be the youngest coach? Yeah, so we're going to have a new youngest coach to win the Super Bowl.
Love it.
So whoever wins is going to be the youngest coach to ever win a Super Bowl. I mean, hey, that's the way the league's going now. Younger coaches fixated on offense. I mean, looks like the way it is. I mean,
old men anymore.
No, everybody needs a Nick Sirianni running the team. And Jonathan Gannon. How upset were you that Jonathan Gannon did not get the Texans coaching job?
I was so sad. I was really mad, actually.
Because I know how much you despise that man.
I really don't like him, yeah.
Be honest, though. Like, is he really that bad?
He stinks, bro.
Well, but I would argue your defense kind of overperformed. I mean, not in the playoffs, but I mean.
Yeah, we didn't have one game, though, where we played well against a top offense, though. You know what I mean? We feasted.
Well, you didn't play good against
a lot of
any top team, actually. You didn't play good against any top team.
Exactly, yeah. So he should not be praised for playing good defense against bad teams.
Okay, that's fair. I agree with that.
He did get the job done when he had to.
Yeah, he did a good job against Tampa Bay. I agree. So he definitely got it done when it mattered.
He beat up on the bad teams. He did well against the bad teams.
Nobody more than the Eagles beat up on the bad teams this year. There is definitely no doubt about that.
Yeah, we took that trophy this year.
Yeah. All right, Eddie. Thank you as always for coming on, my man. You know we love having you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Eddie.
Catch you boys later.
All right. Well, I mean, we got about less than a minute here. So, I mean, final picks.
I'm going with LA. 31-24.
I'm going with LA too. Folks, thank you for listening to the show. Obviously, we had a great time today talking about some food, some Olympics,
halftime performances.
James Harden going to certain places in Philadelphia. Heard a couple curse words. That was interesting too. Always that's funny.
You got it all today, really.
Yeah, you really got it all. I mean, this was a pretty full packed episode. That was for sure.
Yeah.
So,
well, Monday we'll recap the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
everything about it.
Everything from the halftime show,
from the coin toss to the final whistle,
to the national anthem, to the Gatorade bath.
Yeah. What color do you think the Gatorade's going to be? It's always a nice prop bet to make. I'm feeling blue.
I'm going to feel blue just because Rams blue. Actually, I'm going to go with lemon lime. All right. Sean McVay gives me a lemon lime kind of vibes.
I think blue or red.
Okay.
Coin toss, we'll see. A lot of people had tails last year and it was heads. So we'll see if it goes back to tails.
Yeah.
Tails failed last year.
I'm not going to publicly announce it. I'm not going to publicly announce my pick there.
Yeah. I'm not going to do the same either. All right. Well, it was a fun show. We'll be back on Monday recapping the Super Bowl. Thank you again for listening and have a fantastic weekend.